Why do I feel like this right now? Maybe if I lie like this, it'll make it better. I think I just got my period. Yep, that's definitely my period. This is such bad timing. Get to the bathroom. Fast, 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 fast. So, periods get a really bad rep. Are we sentenced to a life of hating our periods, dreading them, and fighting against them, or is there another option? I'm Tao of Mary, and this video is how I conquered my period. So I'm 27 years old, and it took me this much time to conquer my period. I started bleeding when I was 11 years old, and it's been a long journey of getting to the place of comfort and peace I am with my monthly bleeding. The biggest shift that has allowed me to conquer my period is living in sync with my body's natural rhythms and cycles as opposed to living against it. As women, we are cyclical beings. We are ruled by this monthly cycle. Think of it as the seasons of the earth. I think of this time as my inner winter. When it's winter time, we are asked to slow down, embody stillness. In winter, it may not look like a lot is happening on the surface, but it is such an integral time of renewal for spring to happen. And that is what is exactly happening when we are bleeding. On day one of your cycle, day one is the first day of your period, we are shedding our old uterine lining that has built up in the previous phases of our cycle. Simultaneously, as we are shedding our uterine lining, our bodies are also producing new follicles in order to support new life and a new pregnancy. Our periods are a transitional time of death and rebirth, the shedding of the lining and the birth of new follicles. We are really being called to hold space for this duality during our periods, and I feel like this time deserves so much reverence and sanctity. The more we learn how to honor this time, the more in sync we will be with our essence, our feminine essence, and our feminine power. When you begin to live in sync with your body's energy and start honoring your period as a time of rest, release, and renewal, this energy will enter into all areas of your life and it will give you more clarity. Society doesn't want you to be connected to your period as a source of power. Society teaches us to dread our periods and to treat them like a total inconvenience. And we're kind of given this message that we should just be pushing through when we get our periods and getting on with our normal lives as soon as possible, as fast as possible. Period products are designed to be discreet and convenient. We're not supposed to show that we're using a tampon or that we need one. We're supposed to act like we have all this energy on our periods when really we don't. I'm sure we've all seen the tampon commercials where the athletes are going as hard as they can. Fun fact, did you know that Courtney Cox was the first person to say the word period on TV?
Does your life change once a month because of your period?
We as women right now are coming from a background of such taboo where we're not supposed to be talking about this. We're not supposed to be showing anyone like what we're going through on our periods. Shame thrives in secrecy, and when we keep our periods a secret, when we deny our experience every single month, this is a repression of our emotions and our experience, and this is internalizing pain instead of expressing it. And when we embrace our monthly cycle, when we embrace and welcome our monthly bleed, this is how we transmute our pain into power. A long time ago, ancient societies actually believed that God was a woman, and They referred to this idea of goddess woman as the fertility goddess, and women were celebrated and revered. Our periods are such a potent time of release and renewal, and when we tune into this energy, we can receive the gifts that this season has to offer us. Part 1 to conquering your period is figuring out what products work for you. I really feel like I've conquered my cycle because I know exactly what products work for me. And this is going to take some figuring out, but don't be afraid to explore other options outside of just disposable pads and tampons. Those are likely the options you've been the most exposed to, but just because they're there doesn't mean that they are meant for you. Probably for the first 10 years of my cycle, I was using disposable pads, and I had an aversion to getting to know my reproductive area. I didn't have anyone guiding me through, like, this is how you use a tampon, take a mirror and take a look down there. It was kind of like a scary thing for me to do, like getting to know my own reproductive parts. And so I avoided anything that would make me come into contact with that area. And I was just always more comfortable with using something that didn't have to go inside of me. But eventually, I made the switch over to period underwear. I made this switch primarily for environmental reasons. I didn't like the fact that I was using a product that would simply go into the garbage as soon as I was done using it. This is period underwear. They look like regular underwear, but they have this lining in them, and this is a special absorbent lining that catches the blood. You do not need to wear a tampon or a cup or anything else with them. You can just bleed right into the underwear. I also have some reusable pads, and you would use this in the same way as a disposable pad. There is obviously more of an upfront cost if you choose to buy period underwear, but over time it will help you save money. I find period underwear just to be more cozy. I like the fact that I'm not using something that's disposable, and they just kind of make it fun to use. I don't know, it's just like the ritual aspect of like, oh, I get to wear my period underwear while I'm bleeding. Just a note while I am editing this video, I did not mention the brand that I am using for period underwear. The brand that I showed up is the NYX brand of period underwear. I actually do not recommend this brand, even though I have been using it for a few years. They had some controversy over having toxic ingredients in their underwear and reusable pads, and I'm currently on the search to finding a non-toxic brand so I can switch over. So yeah, don't recommend the NYX brand, but if you do have a good non-toxic brand of period underwear, let me know and share it in the comments below. What period underwear are not good for, though, is road tripping. And that is the reason why I started using a menstrual cup. As you can imagine, if you are using period underwear, you're going to need a place to keep them. You're going to need a place to wash them and hang them up when they dry. Last year and the year before, I was doing a lot of road tripping. I was living out of a car, and period underwear were not going to cut it for me. This right here is a menstrual cup, and the way it works is that it goes inside of you and it pops open. It sticks to your uterus wall, or your vaginal wall by suction, and it catches all the blood that you're releasing. You could keep it in for up to 12 hours. You can sleep with it overnight. There is no risk of toxic shock syndrome that comes from using tampons because it is not actually absorbing anything. It's not drying out anything inside of you. Now that I've learned how to use the cup, it has become a super convenient, comfortable option, and I cannot imagine my monthly cycle without it. But It does come with a few drawbacks. There was a big learning curve for me because I had only ever used pads and period underwear. I hadn't used anything that goes up inside of you before. And I did have a lot of trouble at first learning how to take it out. And I am not ashamed to admit that my partner helped me take it out quite a few times. Looking back, I don't think I needed his help for all of those times. Yeah, if I had just believed in myself a little bit more, I would have been able to figure it out on my own. So if you're interested in using a menstrual cup and you've never used one before, that is my number one tip for you, is to just believe in yourself. It is not going to get stuck up there. It's actually impossible for it to like migrate up and get stuck. Maybe in the future I'll make a menstrual cup video, but what really helped me figure out how to get it out of me was realizing that I had to like push, almost like you're pooing. When you push, that's going to make it so much easier to grab the cup and take it out of you. As you're figuring out what works for you, just remember that there is going to be a little bit of a transition period where you're not fully comfortable yet with like the new thing that you're introducing, and that's totally okay. This is something that made me really frustrated when I started using the cup, was that like I felt like I was a failure because I couldn't master it. And then I did master it, and I'm just like, wow, like I'm so proud of myself for doing that. I can't imagine my period without it. So right now I use both period underwear and the cup at the same time. On days 1 and 2, I generally wear my period underwear with my period cup, and then days 3, 4, and 5, I will generally just wear the cup with a pair of regular underwear, or I will sometimes just wear regular underwear or a pair of my boyfriend's boxers that I just bleed right through. And I work from home and spend a lot of time at home, so this is totally normal and fine for me because I'm not going out anywhere, and my cycle is super light too. Okay, let's talk about the importance of rest on your period. It is the time of our cycle when our hormones are at the lowest. Our body is really asking us to rest at this time, to slow down, to go inward. I like to rest fully on day 1. It doesn't matter what I have planned for that day. I will cancel it, or I will schedule myself in advance so that nothing is going to happen on day 1, so I can just take that day to fully rest. There is no shame in calling in sick. There's no shame in canceling plans. There's no shame in planning your schedule around your period. That is actually what you should be doing to honor your cycle. If you can't rest for a full day on your period, ask yourself, what would it look like if I did 1% less? Ask yourself how you can honor this time. Ask yourself how you can honor your body's energy and your body's need to slow down at this time. Even doing 1% less will signal to your subconscious, will signal to your body that, hey, I see you, I hear you, and I acknowledge you. The more we tune in to the way we're feeling all month long, and learn how to process our emotions, to listen to ourselves, to see ourselves, and to validate ourselves, the easier our periods are going to be, and the more pleasant of an experience our periods are going to be. So let's talk about the pain. Our periods are a really big time of release. We're not just releasing blood. Spiritually and energetically, we are releasing emotions, we are releasing energy, we're releasing the silent weight we've accumulated and carried all month long. It's a process of renewal and regeneration. I really found that with my pain, I connected it very deeply to repressed emotions. I used to struggle with really, really excruciating pain. For me, it was a symbol of all the emotions I had repressed, Over my entire lifetime, it was as if every single month my body was calling out to me with this pain and saying, like, hey, pay attention to me. And my body was forcing me to slow down. My body was forcing me to stop and pay attention to it because I wasn't paying attention to it the rest of the time. As you honor your body's need for rest, the pain will get better. This does take time, and this does really rely on you honoring your body's natural cues to slow down and to rest so that your body doesn't feel the need to scream out at you every month. So I used to get really bad period pain where I was like fainting, I was throwing up, and I'm not gonna lie, it still does get pretty bad, but it's nowhere near where it used to be. If you're struggling with pain, you should also consider getting your iron levels checked. I found out that I was low in iron about a year ago, and since I've taken iron supplements consistently for about a year, my pain has definitely improved. As we bleed, we are releasing a lot of iron with that blood, so it's important to eat a lot of iron-rich foods while you bleed and the days leading up to your bleed. I also try to intake a lot of ginger in my luteal phase before my period starts. I will make a batch of ginger shots using fresh ginger, fresh lemon juice, and some frozen tropical fruit. I just put everything into the blender and you get delicious ginger shots. Ginger is super anti-inflammatory and it can really help with easing your cramps. Definitely avoid salty, oily, fried, junky foods during this time. I do often eat a lot of chocolate before and during my period, but I try to eat a dark chocolate that is low in processed sugar. Also, very important, try to drink a lot of water, stay hydrated. Herbal tea is also great during this time. Various herbal teas like ginger tea, chamomile tea, and raspberry leaf tea can help ease cramps. And also try to reduce your caffeine intake, which can make cramps worse. I always keep a hot water bottle nearby me when I'm bleeding, and this really helps ease the cramps. I also take a lot of hot baths when I'm on my period, and I just lie in the hot water and allow that to soothe my cramps as well. Another way that I've conquered my period is by creating period rituals. Creating rituals around your period is such a fun way to learn how to love your period because you create these special things that you look forward to because you only do them on your period. So, for example, on day one, I always watch a period movie. It's like I'll always pick like a feel good family movie or like a movie I loved in my childhood. And me and my boyfriend will watch that movie together. And like all month long, we're talking about like, ooh, what should the period movie be? And it's such a fun thing to look forward to. I also enjoy creating a lot of art during this time. Our periods are a very creative time, and it's a time to channel different kinds of energy. It's, like I said, it's a time of release, it's a time of renewal. So, spiritually, there's a lot of energy going on. So, it's a great time to journal, it's a great time to create art and think outside the box a little with your self expression. Don't be afraid to get your partner involved in the process of your period. Don't be afraid to ask for extra help and support during this time. You really do deserve to be pampered during this time. Way back in ancient times when we lived in communities, people and women would all be helping and supporting each other, and no one would be going through this alone. So please, please don't be afraid to ask for help. You deserve to be pampered and you deserve to receive during this time. I love the fact that I've shared so much about my period and my experience with my partner, and he's so willing to listen and be a part of the experience with me. He's been so amazing at playing a role during my period and supporting me. He always cooks me a delicious meal on day one. He always brings me tea. He always refills my hot water bottle. He always draws a bath for me. Something I'd love to talk more about is how your period is actually meant to be a time for receiving gifts in your life. When we learn how to transmute our pain, we become this open channel for insights and divine guidance. And because our period is a portal of death and rebirth at the same time, it is such a spiritually potent time. When we're tuned into this energy, we can receive those insights and receive those gifts. And it all starts with honoring our body's needs and our body's energy. Okay, final tip for conquering your period is cycle tracking. I track my cycle every single day, and this means that every single day when I wake up, I write down the day of my cycle I'm on and any symptoms associated with this day. I used to be someone who did not know anything about cycle tracking. I had no clue what day of my cycle I was on, and I would just get my period and be like, oh, like my period's here. Okay, cool. And I had no idea like what this meant for my cycle, right? As soon as I started paying attention to my cycle and being involved in the process of managing my cycle, I started to feel more clarity, I started to feel more relaxed, and I started to feel more powerful and in control because I was aware of something that I previously wasn't aware of. And I could direct that energy in any way that I wanted to. Many of you probably use a period tracking app. I use a period tracking app as well. I use this period app called Stardust. It shows the phase of the moon for every day of your cycle, which I think is pretty cool. But there's something kind of impersonal about just inputting your information into an app, and I really recommend using a pen and paper or having like a period diary. You can really just go more in depth. It's so much more personable, and you can also write reflections about how you're feeling and go deeper. This isn't just about getting to know your period, it's really about learning how to live in sync with your energy all month long, because every phase of your cycle offers something different. I'd love to make videos about every phase of the cycle, talking about like what works for me during each phase, because each phase does offer something different, and there are different things you can do to work with this energy because every phase does offer a different kind of energy. Since I've conquered my period, I feel so much more in my feminine power because I know how to manage my cycle, and I'm managing it in a way that is specific to me, not just like how someone's telling me to manage it. I really hope this video helps you learn how to conquer your period. You deserve to love this time. You deserve to live in harmony with yourself, and you deserve to experience all the amazing gifts that this time has to offer you. This time has a lot of gifts to offer you. Do not be fooled by what society says that this is just a time to push through and dread, because it is not. It is totally possible to learn to love your period even when you're someone who gets cramps like me. So I'd love to know how you deal with your period. Have you conquered it? What do you use on your period? Do you have any tips for managing your cycle? Leave me a comment and subscribe for more Tao of Mary videos like this one.